Hey everyone, welcome back to We Are Chattin, your Penn State Brandywine podcast. We're your hosts, Ava Clements,
And Natalie DeMario.
and today we are chatting with Kenneth Murphy.
Kenneth is a Brandywine alum, leader and coordinator of the Center for Social Impact, and an overall force in creating positive change. Kenneth, welcome to We Are Chattin.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, of
Sure.
course.
Let's dive right in. So, what ultimately led you back to working at your alma mater, Penn State Brandywine?
The opportunity to serve. I've been in the finance space for close to a decade, so I'm really big with handling numbers, transferring accounts. But when opportunity for social impact coordinator leader presented itself here at Brandywine, I was already involved in different capacities from athletics to mentorship. To me, it was just a no-brainer just to take that transition and that next step.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talk a lot about the term social impact. So how would you describe that term to someone listening?
Yes. So it's all about perspective. Social impact is perspective, but the common denominator within that perspective, I would say, is identifying needs. So to be socially impactful, let's break it down. The social element of it, that means communication, a connection. It has to be something that brings us together. And then the impact is service. So what needs are we servicing? So for me, whenever I speak on social impact, I always, ask others what their definition is, but then I would then bring it back to my definition of finding that common need and being able to serve it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, you lead community-based learning assignments, volunteer opportunities with community partners, and campus civic engagement events. I know it's kind of broad, but can you explain kind of the type of work that goes into that?
Yes, so it's a multifaceted approach. So everything has its own process. So we got to first identify the need. And for me, if it's community based, then who are our community partners? What are their needs? How are we servicing them? And then how can we go and attack it? For example, sometimes people reach out for the center just for a volunteer. They just need extra hands. Well, that's pretty great that they reach out to us for volunteer service opportunities, but then I take that and then I take it to our center. Then we have three pillars with our center, and this is how the process goes. So we identify the need; they may need extra hands, but here at the Center for Social Impact, it's either got to be with community development, civic engagement, or human rights. And if it falls under those pillars, then for us as a center, we can go ahead and move forward. So whether the community is we're doing something in development space, whether it's something where it's just having students exercise their voice, or if it's something that's revolving with sustainability or access to basic needs, we've identified those mutual points and then we go in service. And then from there, we build relationships and we continue that process.
Interesting. So, do you approach people that are, going to be helped by you guys, or do others approach you? Like, how does that work?
Yep. So it's a two-way street.
Okay.
One thing we do at the center is I have all of our students do cold calls and outreach to all of our local Delaware County community partners. Reason being is it's easy for me to reach out to find and identify different service opportunities. It's another thing to have students really gain that experience of making cold calls, sending out emails to identify different needs. So that's us doing outreach. But then there's also been other opportunities where people reached out to the center and say, hey, I know you just started here with the Center for Social Impact. We're having this volunteer opportunity. We would love to have some students come out and serve. Absolutely. Just send us the calendar date. As long as it's enough time, as long as it aligns with our three pillars here at Brandywine and our center, then a lot of times we're moving forward on it.
Wow, that's
interesting.
awesome. Yeah, and do a lot of these communities, are they people that you partner with multiple times, or is it more of just like a one-time thing to get the word out?
Great question. And it's for me, from the leadership perspective that I have, it's about really sustaining partners. So for me, it's long term. So we will do one-offs depending on what the opportunity is. If individuals or organizations reach out for service, but the goal behind it is how can we build more strategic partnerships that aligns with our pillars that still service needs. So for example, we just did an event at City Team. Well, last semester, we've been partnering with City Team at least once a month with different volunteer opportunities. So when this new semester hits this year, we already have it on the calendar to help them serve Hope Cafe. We've already built that partnership. That aligns with our access to basic needs within our center under human rights. So now that way, that's your strategic partnership where we're able to serve the community in Chester County and beyond. We're able to help stack up their food pantry, clothing closets, and we have a lot of those same needs here on campus, but that's a great partnership that's also local. So there's a multifaceted approach, but that's how we connect them all.
Wow.
That's great. I like that you're really just pushing for long-term success with that. It's great.
Yeah. So how do you and the center identify the specific needs of a community?
Asking questions. Asking questions, and we don't make assumptions. So everyone needs are different, but we know that there is a need somewhere. And whether we can service that need, that's what we will identify as the conversation goes on. But we know that when we reach out, we know that these are some common needs that an organization may have, whether they need helping hands, whether they need items donated, whether they need some other type of support or resources. We've kind of understand that, but then we ask questions, oh, how can we help? What's the direct impact we can make? So that's how we go
Interesting.
about it.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the organizations that you guys have been able to partner with?
Yeah, so City Team was one organization that falls under our human rights, access to basic needs.
Okay.
Another one I'm excited to always share is our partnership with Habitat for Humanity. So that covers a multitude of avenues, whether it's community development, civic engagement, or basic needs of home ownership. I feel as though with this partnership's particular, it's a piece of me that I wanted to really have for the center to hold, because I believe in home ownership. I believe that whether you choose to be a homeowner or a renter, you should know how much it takes. You should know about the budget. And you should know about the ins and outs. So that's one partner. Another partner we have is DAP, which is Domestic Abuse Project of Delaware County, just really providing those domestic needs and resources to anyone from all walks of life, because everyone has their own journey and story. So they've been a great community partner. Another community partner we have is Overbrook Park Civic Association, and that's a personal relationship that I have outside of work that is really civically engaged. So we talked about the three pillars. So that's another pillar that I really wanted to get boots on the ground, which is in West Philadelphia, about 20 minutes down the road. But it's different community meetings and, everyone getting together and voicing their opinion about different zoning opportunities, just different developments that's going on in the community. Those are different partners that we have.
Okay, that's great. I
Yeah.
mean, to kind of back up a little bit, I know you were telling me a few weeks ago about your trip over spring break that you're going to be doing with Habitat for Humanity. Can you just tell us about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So alternative spring break, our spring break here at Brandywine begins March 9th and it goes through the 12th, I believe. Our spring break will be March 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to go down to Richmond, Virginia. About 15 students, 2 staff members, 17 of us in total will be going down, and we're going to be helping building homes on different project sites.
So great.
Different T-shirt competitions, and have a day or half a day or so of just experiencing that development in that area.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's a really inspiring
Yeah.
piece of information to know, and also just hearing how diverse your connections are to these outside communities and supporting a lot of different kinds of resources is really special.
Yeah, absolutely. So to shift gears just a little bit, one way that the center provides for the community is through the campus garden. Can you tell us a little bit about that growing space?
Yes. Campus Garden. One of our spaces within the center is ran by our campus garden manager, Emily Dozer, who's been doing an awesome job. And one of my goals from the outside looking in, coming into our center space, was how can we highlight the campus garden, especially during the off seasons when students aren't here. Last summer, I had the opportunity to really engage the garden because that's when it's its most vibrant. And one thing that I've noticed, or one opportunity we had to execute, was being able to measure the amount of produce that we actually grow in our campus garden. We grow hundreds of pounds of vegetables, fruits, just different herbs, and we give them out to our community members. We give them out to our campus staff and faculty. But with one of our community members throughout this summer, we were able to grow and harvest and donate it to the Media Food Bank. So those are different ways that our campus garden, especially in the off season when students aren't here, are still able to deliver impact. When the students are here, one thing that the center does is connect with Emily Dozer because she teaches a Plant 220 class. So now it's how can the center with the garden support the the Plant 220 class. And throughout this semester, there's going to be actually a few events where the Center for Social Impact Campus Garden will be supporting the Plant 220 class. For example, we have a Master Gardener talk by the end of this month in January. February, we're planning a trip to, March, we're planning a trip to Western Farm. So a lot of the students can not only experience our campus garden here, but we can go out local in Delaware County to experience farming at a different capacity, share those different viewpoints, and then bring back anything that we've learned back to our garden to help that to continue to grow.
Yeah, and I think I was telling Ava a few months ago that I was actually fortunate enough to take that Plant 220 class with Miss Dozer. I mean, it's honestly one of my favorite classes I've had here.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah,
Really
having
fun.
access to that garden is really cool. I remember when I first came to Brandywine and I learned about the harvesting hours on Wednesdays, and I went a couple of times, and it's really honestly inspiring that we offer that as a campus to students, and just getting that like opportunity to connect with nature. I feel like that's not something that a lot of people have access to, so it's really awesome.
Absolutely, and the garden has so much potential to continue to grow and flourish. For example, it's not just open to our students; it's open to the community as well. And those are some different aspects that I want the center to continue to highlight and support. That within Delaware County, we have a vibrant campus garden.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, why is it so important to you that students learn to be civically engaged in their community?
Because everyone has a voice, and that to me should be enough said. But to go deeper behind that is everyone has a voice, and when you understand that your voice is powerful, whether it's voting, whether it's just speaking up on certain social, environmental, civic issues, that you can provoke change. A lot of times we do surveys, we do polls. That's how it really goes, especially with a lot of our community meetings that I take our students to within, West Philadelphia. They get a chance to say, hey, they're building this new golf course. What are some areas, opportunities that you want to explore? Like, what are some things that you like or don't like? And members of the community can speak up. Well, every student here and every person has that right to within their neighborhood. So to me, that's why it's very important, because you need to understand that your voice matters, and, the few bring the many.
Yeah. We also understand that the center engages students in nonprofit internships. How do they apply, what they learn in class to the work that they do with you?
Yep. So they apply what they learn in class to what we do is identifying what's their major, what are their career aspirations, and why do they want to serve?
Yeah.
Or why do they want to do what they want to do? And from having those conversations with different students, I'm able to now gear different service projects that fit their needs. And this is open to all the students on campus, but the students that the center has been working with thus far, that's how it always comes about. And let's say you may be in a psychology major, somebody else may be doing a communication major, but the event is, I don't know, donating toiletries to an organization. Well, there's a psychological component behind it with understanding the human element, what's the needs, depending on the organization. But then the communication piece may be marketing. It may be just sharing the news. It may be just connecting and networking. So there's always some common thread that can identify a student's why to what the center is doing and why we're doing it. So those are different ways that I just ask those questions from a student perspective to identify how the center can connect those two.
Yeah. It's really just a meaningful kind of thing,
Yeah, and I love that you're able to do that with no matter the major, kind of find that connection.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is really great. And we know that Brandywine offers a minor in civic and community engagement. So do you find that many of the students who work for you opt to pursue that minor?
Yes and no. I would say yes, because if you have a true passion piece, some individuals know what they want to do going into the field. I would say let's double down on that.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then it's okay to explore. For example, I'm a Brandywine alumni. And prior to me transitioning to our Center for Social Impact, I was talking about I was in the finance space. Well, my time at Brandywine, I was a psychology major, working in the finance space. Totally new journey for me. But there was a lot of hard and soft skills that I was able to learn and acquire to check those boxes to where now I'm in a finance industry with psychology majors, business majors, art majors. It was a diverse background, and the common thing was still serving our clients at that time. So for me, that same mindset goes with our center. So like you said, whether you have a specific major that ties directly into the center, that's great. Let's double down on that. But if you don't, there's so many different ways to explore and still apply your interests to what we have going on.
Yeah, for sure. You've been in this role for almost a year now and have already made such an impact. What do you foresee for the next year or so?
Consistency,
Okay.
growth, and just really sustainability. So consistency, growth, and something that's sustainable. So like I said, it's good for us to do one-off service projects, but that's not the goal. I really want students to really see how partnerships are established, but then have the opportunity to take ownership of these partnerships and really grow into it. So I know we talk about Habitat. That's just one where we made that connection last semester. But as alternative spring break come on, that to me that was the next step to where we meet with them every second and fourth Thursday of every month. Now we building more familiarity with them. Students are taking ownership. We have a president, vice president, secretary. You name it. It's an entire club and org now through the center.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have started like that if we just did a service day project, which wouldn't have been a bad thing. But I see that as the pilot, or not the pilot, but the blueprint of any future center activities. And then I also see the center opening up not just to students, but to our campus, to our community as well, our local community. So a lot of our events are service-based. It's great that the students are involved, but I want to also show the students, hey, let's impact the local community. Let's invite them out onto campus. Let people really see Brandywine. A lot of individuals don't know about Brandywine unless you know about Brandywine. So since that's the case, then service to me, there's no color, there's no metric behind it. There is, but the common goal is to serve X cause. We can get people together, whether you're students, different races, different walks of life. This is what we're doing to make an impact. So I really see that transforming as we grow into the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were a student here at Brandywine, were you a part of the Center for Social Impact?
I didn't know we had one.
Okay.
I was a straight athlete. I was a student athlete.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a question for you later.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that.
We're going to get to the student athlete part.
Yeah.
But just to wrap up these questions, what advice do you have for students who are eager to create a positive change in the world, just as you are?
The few bring the many. Find out who's in your local area and something like campus, like your association that's doing some type of service work if you have that interest. And if you don't have the one in that area, always come by the Center for Social Impact. Always reach out to me. Reach out to Stephanie, who's our admin. You can reach out to Emily, our campus gardener, or any of our students. So the biggest thing was just, making sure I'm accessible for everybody. But that's always the start. And then once you find that need, if for some reason you can't get in contact with somebody, I would still encourage people to write it down until you find that connection. Because even though we have different partnerships, that doesn't mean our partnerships are limited. The goal is to hear what the students' needs are. So as we establish these partnerships, it's something that the students, come together, organize, put on the table, but then this is how we could take it to the next level.
Right. Interesting.
Yes,
well, they have the perfect leader at the Center for Social Impact.
Absolutely, yeah. And what I'm hearing is
teamwork makes the dream work.
For sure. All right. Well, let's move into a segment we like to call Rapid Chattin', where we challenge you with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's talk
all right.
about it.
All right. First one. We hear you're quite the basketball star, or were quite the basketball star here at Brandywine. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of basketball players?
And we're talking just all time.
All time.
All time. Wilt Chamberlain. Born and raised in Philadelphia. My father, big Philadelphia legend. Basketball, so that's rooted in our bloodline. Wilt Chamberlain, I would say. Kobe Bryant was another one.
For sure.
Mamba mentality. Yeah. We always talk about that. My personal favorite player, Baron Davis. Point guard, played for the Golden State Warriors, New Orleans Hornets, went to UCLA. I always wanted to model my game after him. And then fourth player, wasn't really an NBA professional, but I would say my older brother, Andre.
That's the perfect answer.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the perfect answer.
He was the shooter in the family.
Okay.
My father was a jump shooter. I'm an okay shooter.
Okay.
But they were the ones, but he was one of the top shooters in the city.
Wow,
but
that's
also
amazing.
one of the top defenders. So in an offense that was, tough to score. And so just seeing that firsthand, that was always, Big Bro was always my favorite player.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Sounds like Mount Rushmore to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, number 2. If you were stranded on a desert island, what celebrity would you call for help?
Celebrity?
Or athlete, athletes are
athlete.
celebrities.
I was thinking about this. I really don't know. Is anybody that can help? Anybody that can help to where we on the island. Because the first person I'm calling is God. I'm a man of faith, so I'm calling God.
There you go.
And then, Jesus ain't no celebrity, but
I don't know.
If I had to call somebody with some resources on earth, I'll definitely say probably Denzel. Probably Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. That's an answer.
Denzel.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
We haven't heard that one yet.
All right. What is your favorite item or food from the campus garden?
The arugula.
Arugula. Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have to try that.
So super side note, we can talk about later. I used to be vegan.
Oh, okay.
For over
Interesting.
2 years. So I was really big into plant-based. And I'm still am now. Just added, meat and other dairy proteins into it. But arugula is a very powerful green. So when you eat it, you got to eat the right one. If you know it's bad, you'll know it's good. So our campus garden, it grows some great arugula to where we pick it up, brush it off, you can just eat it.
Yeah.
And that's with all the vegetables and herbs. But
Yeah.
to me, that was one that you got to look back and say, wow, this is really good.
Gonna have to harvest some more of that.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I'm going to have to
Make
go
a
get
arugula
some.
salad.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. And what Center for Social Impact event do you look forward to the most?
You already know I was going to say all of them.
Yeah, we know.
But the reason why I do say all of them
Yeah.
is because each one identifies a different need that are able to be intentional in making that impact. So like whether it's community development, civic engagement, human rights, each one is specifically dedicated to service that impact. But there is one that's coming up on February 11th. Everything's been solidified. It's actually going to happen in sub 114. I'm actually going to be showing a film that's called A Hope That Lights the Way, from a good friend of mine who's also an Emmy Award-winning director named Kalani Davis. He was born in Delaware County area.
Really?
Graduated from Temple, right? But he directed a film for the previous mayor of Philadelphia that talks about the gun violence in the inner city of Philadelphia and how that impacts the positive and negatives, but then also all the different resources. So it's about a 65-minute film. We're going to show at 5 p.m. down in Sub. I'm going to have some food there for everyone to really enjoy, and we're going to show the film. But then after the film, I'm encouraging everyone to have the conversation with Kalani, whether it's from a director perspective, like from a media standpoint, whether it's from a standpoint of just gaining understanding on the impact of like gun violence and how it affects individuals in their neighborhood, understanding the different resources, why it's important. So it's going to be open to have that dialogue face-to-face. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's February 11th.
February
That's
11th.
awesome.
All
We'll have to
right.
definitely share that, plug that.
Yeah,
And,
check that one out.
Yeah, absolutely.
sure.
Well, Kenneth, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming on here, sharing all the work that you do, and we really appreciate all the difference that you're making in people's lives. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate the
thank you.
opportunity, and like I said, I'm always here to share the story because it's not about me. So continue to do the great work. I really appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and
Kenny.
to our students watching out there, definitely make sure you get involved in the Center for Social Impact.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, guys.
And check out the campus garden.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks,
you.
Kenny.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for tuning in. We are done chatting for today. This podcast was recorded in the Penn State Brandywine Makerspace Media Production Studio. We Are Chattin was made possible by Penn State Brandywine Strategic Communications and the Brandywine Launchbox. Remember to like this podcast and stream it on wherever you get your podcasts.